It's March brown season here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to show you a soft hackle that I came up with a couple years ago. I haven't even got a name for it yet, but it seems to work really well. This will be in a Dairiki 125 size 12. I tie them in 12s and 14s. First start with a little brown glass bead you can pick up at some fly shops, but every craft store. And start your thread. I'm using tan uni. 6/0 or 8/0, it's up to you. Once we get to the curve of the hook, I'm going to tie in some brown ultra wire in size brassy. Once that's tied in, I'll leave it back. And for the body, I'm going to use STS Trilobal Dub in tan. The real bugs have a really light underbody with a dark back. And so when you look at these bugs and you go to tie some of them, make sure you flip them over and look at the actual color that the fish sees. They're really actually light on the bottom. I'm going to dub that up. I get too much. Okay, once I got that dubbed, I'm going to take some ringneck pheasant tail fibers. It's probably around 8 or so. And I'm going to measure it to where I want the tips are actually going to be my tail. And the tail is going to be about the length of the shank of the hook. I like them a little shorter. Once I got that measured, I'll tie that in. Take my wire, pull the ringneck fibers down, take my wire, and then rib it to the front. And clip it off. Now I'm going to push these tail fibers up and just clip the center, couple out, so it creates a natural V. You can see that, but when you cut those middle ones out, it creates a natural V. And now I'm going to take just a little bit of deer hair, and you're going to want really mottled deer hair. The darker the better. You don't necessarily want it dyed, but just a really nice dark mottled deer hair. I'm not going to take very much. Just a small clump. I'm going to stack it. And this does not need to be pretty. It doesn't need to be. It really doesn't need to be stacked at all. But that's just my OCD. And I'm going to lay the wing just so it's just beyond the length of the body. The March Browns kind of have a large wing on them. Tie that in, clip these butts close. Okay, so there we got our wing. I know the hackle is going to be a hen pheasant skin. If you have not grabbed one of these skins, they are a must in every trout fly tyer's feather collection. I don't know if you can see this real well, but there is so many usable fibers on this, or so many usable feathers on this skin. It's just unreal, the quality of these things. I'm going to strip, I'm going to grab a size to fit, I'm going to pull off the fluff. I'm going to grab it by the tip. Tie it in tip first. Move my thread just behind the bead. Take my scissors and kind of run it down the side so these feathers naturally sweep back. And I wrap it until I get to the stem. Make a couple wraps, tie it off. And we'll finish. It's easy as that. A little March Brown soft hackle. You can tie about 12.5 of these per hour once you kind of get going on them. And you'll lose them, but they're a lot of fun to swing for trout on the Deschutes, the Mackenzie, and the upper Willamette.